Hi, I'm Gary White for Channel 6 Central Kentucky Television. I'm here with Taylor Slosser, who is the Marion County School Superintendent, for our update on what's going on with the Marion County school system. And actually, since our last interview, there have been actually a couple school shootings, one in the state of Kentucky, but also nationally. And there has been talk with different schools as to whether there is a plan if, heaven forbid, something like that were to happen in their school district. I know actually right before our meeting, you were having a meeting with some law enforcement here in Marion County and Lebanon to talk about the protocol, I assume, that would go along with that. Does Marion County have a plan of action if something of that nature were to occur?
We do, and that's unfortunate, and that's what I hear parents say. They ask their child, do you know what to do? And they say yes, and I know it's really sad that we even have to have that conversation, and there's nothing really you can even say about that. I mean, it's a tragedy what happened at both Marshall County and the school in Florida, and by no means do we ever want anything like that to happen anywhere, and not in our school district, but we do have a plan. Our children go through drills, and our staff is also prepped and ready for those kinds of drills. We're very fortunate in Marion County, Gary. We have a great partnership with our local city police, Chief Brady, and the mayor and the city council, also with our sheriff, Jimmy Clements, and our EMS, state police, Center for School Safety, and we work together all the time to make sure that we're doing everything possible to make sure that we can be proactive versus reactive. And one of the things that we really are very adamant about, and that is that relationship piece. We want every child to have someone that they can talk to. We want to have safety nets if things are going on, if kids are having a bad day or things at home change. All of our schools have a nurse. All of our schools have a counselor. We partner with CommuniCare. We have our Family Resource Center folks. Again, we partner with our local law enforcement. They're coming in and out of our buildings just to walk around and say hi. We want to have relationships with our parents and the community, so if they know something, if they see something, they say something. So, we have all kinds of different pieces and parts that we're looking at to try to make sure that our schools are safe and that it's someplace that parents and families feel comfortable sending their child to school. So, unfortunately, yes, we have a plan.
Yes. I know not too long ago, maybe a couple months ago, we talked about there was basically a threat through social media that was dealt with here in Marion County, and with some of these cases, they're finding that some of the shooters may have started out by doing something of that nature, or threatening. So, if people are seeing stuff of that nature also on social media, what's your words for people out there?
Well, I would say the first thing, if you see that, you have to say something. I read something yesterday. We don't need you to retweet or repost that. We need you to notify the school or the local law enforcement to let them know so that we can immediately begin investigating that. Does that make sense, Gary?
Yeah.
I mean, we need to know. If there is a safety issue of any kind, we want to know. We're going to take all the information and we're going to investigate that. And if we find that it is a valid threat or any kind of threat has been made, then we are going to act very swiftly and promptly, and we're going to work with law enforcement. Those students will be charged, and our discipline matrix from our student code of conduct will be enforced. Now, there are cases where there are fake accounts out there, and if it is a fake name or a fake account, that's harder for us to get to the bottom of. Right. We need parents, if your children tell you something, to call us and let us know. I mean, we have to be in this together, and just teaching that kindness is another thing. Marion County Middle School right now is working really hard on promoting that kindness to one another. So I think that's very important. But if you see something, say something. We also have an anonymous tip line on our website. If there's something that you want to report at any time about any kind of issue, you go in, you click on that, you type in your concern, and it's completely anonymous. But we want parents to know you can call us and tell us something, and we'll keep that anonymous, if at all possible, because our objective is to make sure that kids are safe, staff are safe. This is a community where people feel comfortable and confident sending their children to school. The same way that I'm sure that if you are in a church or in a local establishment, any place people can congregate could be unsafe. Because if you're around a crowd, you're just not sure. But we're going to have systems in place. We're going to have drills in place. We're going to build relationships, and we want to know our kids. If a kid's having a problem, we want to know that beforehand and get them some help, so that they don't feel like that something like this is going to be their outlet of taking out their frustrations.
Absolutely. It's a shame when I was younger in school, we would have fire drills just for safety reasons, but it sounds like some schools were actually having shooting drills.
Yes, we have lockdown drills. You'll hear your children come home and talk about a lockdown drill. So that's normally they're going to turn the lights off. Classroom doors are supposed to be locked at all times. They're going to turn the lights off and make sure that the kids are safe.
So, on a more positive note, we do want to mention that there is a student from the Marion County School System who is going to be getting some national exposure very shortly. Right? She's going to be on American Idol, correct?
She is. They did a little pep rally a couple months ago, and American Idol was a part of that. They've asked to come back and do another one of those, and that's going to air. And Gary, I told you the date. I can't remember. March 8th. So we'll be getting some more publicity for Marion County Public Schools. So I know she's really excited, and you need to look for that on the TV stations. So I think it's WHAS, maybe Channel 11 is going to be doing that. So we're really excited for her.
And her name?
Layla Spring, right?
Layla Spring, yes. It's from Marion County.
Yes.
And she's going to be singing on American Idol.
Yes, she is.
So that's pretty exciting.
Yes.
And, so keep an eye out for that, and hopefully vote for her.
Yes, absolutely.
How it works, right? So maybe she'll continue to bring some notoriety. And she goes to school here in Marion County.
Yes, she does, and is a cheerleader. And so you'll see that. So you'll have on her cheerleading uniform in the first pep rally that we did. So she did a phenomenal job, and I have no doubt that she's not doing a great job out in Los Angeles as well.
Fantastic. So also something that's positive that's going on as well. In March also, I think on March 17th, they're going to be having a Young Leaders or Ambassadors or some kind of program going on, right?
Every March, our student ambassadors promote leadership with our younger students. So we have a Young Leaders Conference, and that's for students from the 4th grade through the 8th grade, and our student ambassadors actually lead this program. So we have a guest speaker, we have breakfast, we have breakout sessions, and it gives our young leaders an opportunity to learn some of those skills. And then our student ambassadors, it gives them an opportunity to also teach the other children. So it's a great Saturday morning for our kids, and one of our big dreams in Marion County is next generation, and that's what we are doing in Marion County Public Schools. We are promoting that next generation of leaders.
Absolutely. And then coming up in April, and we'll let you know probably in the next one, the date for that, usually you have your summit, your school summit too, where you kind of highlight what's going on as well. So that'll be coming up too, right? For that, so we'll get you more information on that as it comes around too. Now also, beforehand we were talking a little bit, there is the possibility of some changes coming for the graduation requirements for the school, for Marion County High School, right? And that is something that actually the board, you were saying, doesn't finally votes on, but it actually starts at the school level with the site-based.
Kentucky has a minimum of 22 graduation requirements. A school council can add to that. Currently, our students have a graduation requirement of 27 credits, but the council is in the process of looking at maybe a different number of requirements. I think it would actually be fewer requirements. One of the things we found is maybe some of our classes are going to be running for a year versus a semester. So when that happens, it may be that our kids don't have an opportunity to take as many classes, so it would make it harder to actually get that 27. So that will be something that'll go before the board, and they'll actually put that in the Board of Education policy. But right now, that's at the council level.
Okay. And also, as we know, the legislature is in session at present, and they're still discussing, as we're doing this, lots of different issues, including pension and stuff of that nature. But also a bill that has been proposed is involving cursive writing. And some people like that cursive is taught, some don't. Is cursive currently taught in Marion County schools?
It is. It is. It's taught in second grade. That's where it starts. And then it's up to each individual teacher based on the assignment that's given, whether they require a student to print or use cursive, or nowadays to use a Chromebook.
Okay.
So yes, it is taught, and there's definitely lots of bills out there on the floor. Obviously, the things that we're very concerned about is the pension bill and the budget, and for Marion County Public Schools, the equalization of the nickel tax.
Right, which is still up for debate as
It still is up for debate, and if you look in the budget bill, it actually says there will be no equalization. So, we're going to have to make a trip to Frankfurt and see what we can do. We've been working closely with our local legislators and actually at the state level to try to campaign for the fact that this is our first nickel that our community's passed, and that equalization could really make a big difference in what kind of building projects that we can have in place. So.
Okay. And also, last time we were talking, there were several snow days and different weather days that were going on. As we're recording this, we're actually going to be hitting some highs in the weather for the next couple days. So hopefully that may be behind us, but who knows, because it's still February as we're recording this, going into March. How's the calendar looking right now as terms of weather?
Well, the viewers will probably be really disappointed that I can't tell you what the last day is. But, we've only had to take 2 NTI days, non-traditional school days. And we've been very fortunate the last couple of times that there were bad weather coming in. It basically went above us, it didn't hit us. So we maybe had an hour delay, but we did not have to miss. And, I know it's really hard for people to understand maybe the neighboring county's out of school and we're not. It really just depends on where that weather lands. Yeah. It could just, again, it could come above or below or to the, it just depends on how that's going to go. So, I think we're in good shape. Today's actually a makeup day. President's Day traditionally has been a day off, and we got to make that up, and I think it's in the high 60s out there, which is very unusual. Right. So, no, there's no thought of like using spring break or anything that, but now again, like you said, next week the weather could turn poor, we could be out for 2 weeks, and that kind of changes things, but that's weather in Kentucky. Yeah,
and also we want to mention too that several school districts, Washington County for instance, was out Friday and Monday, were out a couple of days last week because of weather, or not because of weather, because of an illness.
Yes.
And Taylor County the same way, they had lots of, so our neighbors have had a lot of illness issues. Marion County hasn't had.
We are having some sickness, but it's not really to the point that we feel like that we need to call off school. And again, we've just been very fortunate. We do have kiddos that are sick. We have staff that are sick, but it's just not really hit us as hard as our neighboring school districts. So really promoting hand washing. We're also promoting that if your child is sick, to keep them home, sending the work home with them. We're looking at a system where basically you can go in and spray everything down and sanitize that in a pretty quick kind of manner. So we're working really hard on keeping things clean, having kids wash their hands, and hoping that the flu season will go away sooner versus later.
Absolutely. Again, I've been talking with Marion County School Superintendent Delores Schlosser. This has been Gary White for Channel 6 Central Kentucky Television.